Welcome to this channel where we explore all things mycology and so much more. From a single nucleus to cultures we create, experimentation and innovation is never too late. Join me on this adventure where fun science plays.
So today I'm heading, oh, you can see it all the way from here. Very first pheasant back. I didn't see this one until now. I'm just retracing my steps. We went fishing. You can hear the creek over there. Well, the creek used to be up here. It all moved. So I'm back where I used to fish when I was a kid. And I'm in my late 40s now. So I brought my oldest son up here, took him fishing. We didn't catch any fish. He fell in the water and I found some mushrooms. So it's a memory it's gonna last. My very first pheasant back, him falling in the water and catching no fish. But we had a lot of fun. So I'm looking at this one, and I was reading, it's soft, so it's not hard. So I think I'm going to take this one and let this one mature. Maybe if I take the bigger one, this one will have more chances of producing spores. There's also another one over here too. I don't know if I can look up underneath the gills. There's up underneath the gills. So definitely a polypore. And it's like it must have got like the nutrients. This looks like an old knot, and it's forming out of the knot. And you can see this moss right here. And I'm growing this at home also. And that's what's really cool about moss. You know, mushrooms aren't the only ones who produce spores. And there's a few other things that the moss do that the mushrooms do also. So the best thing to do when harvesting this is just, I'm going to cut it off and leave a nub where it won't. I'm going to try to leave a long enough nub so in case it dries out, it won't continue down into the mycelium. I'm not going to rip these out. I'm just going to slice it off and put them in my paper bag. And by making a nice clean cut, hopefully I won't damage the mycelium. So we got a nice clean cut. Oh, it's really moist too. This is gonna be amazing. So I'm gonna leave these two, even though it said that the younger they are, the tenderer they are. This one here feels just like these ones for firmness. So I'm going to put this in my bag. And another thing is we don't want to harvest all of them. And then here's some older ones. But there's another spot up here with more. I'm not sure where it's at. So I gotta retrack our steps. Let me zoom back out. I think I walked past them. Well, even if I don't find them, it's good exercise for me to be out here doing this. Especially with all the surgeries I've had on my stomach. Oh, there they are. Look at these. Look at these. Boom. Boom. Oh. Boom. Look at these. So that one's, these ones feel a little bit different. Like they're gotten toothy. So I wonder if they're, since they're toothy, let's take one, because I can't. Let me set my phone down. So this is the first one I picked, and this is the second one. You can see the pores are open up more. So I might be able to spore print this. But maybe for eating, you want to have the tight spores. So I'm not really sure. I thought about grabbing, let's grab this little one. So you can see the difference in this little one too. So I'm gonna try them both and see which one cooks the best. But I think it's gonna be this one. And since these ones are already producing the spines or the tooths or whatever, the deeper pores. Man, it looked like spines from the side. Just dropped my phone. So we'll let these older ones contribute to the next generation. So I'm gonna put these in my bag and take these home. And hopefully, yeah, see, right out of a knot. So I bet you there's a lot of nutrients sitting in the knot holes. And this moss being around them, I'm love seeing this moss growing around it. I'm working with the moss in the lion's mane. But I think there's gonna be a few more years. And this is my first honey hole. So I figured I just want to share it with you all. This is my first pheasant back and my first forage this year in 2025. And I'll let you know how these mushrooms turned out. Now I'm back home with the pheasant backs. And I seen a video, you want to scrape the spore area.
This one didn't need it though.
The first one I picked came out really good. But the one that I was thinking would be too old is, because you get the spore stuff up, it's pretty dense, but you get these guys, that's nice. So I guess that's the size we're going to have to get. So next year we're going to have to remember, we're going to get out there earlier and we'll get more of these big guys.
Like the first one we grabbed.
But I'm also thinking maybe I can inoculate closer to home. So I'm gonna try that. So I'll let you know how it goes. So I've been thinking of a way that I can increase my odds of being able to cultivate pheasant back mushrooms closer to home. So before I cooked my mushrooms, I took some clones from the bigger one. These two down here are from the stem, and that one up there is from closer to the rim of the mushroom, deep inside before the tissue transitions into the polypore membrane. I also tried to take a spore print. And so I put some toothpicks on underneath it. I took some water, I wet the cap a little bit, And I think we got spores. And there's our white spores. So I'm going to move this to another spot. I'm going to take the same water, just regular bottled water. I just fill up my cap. And just all I'm going to do is dip my finger in the water and just moisten the top. You don't want it to be running off. You just want to moisten that cap on the top surface. And then when I put the lid on, now it's an environment that's different from the room environment. So there's going to be some dynamics going on inside this tub, and by using a little bit of water on that cap, it creates an evaporation just enough to trigger a possible spore release. But that's one thing that I always do when I do a spore print. I will elevate the mushroom off the spore collecting surface with toothpicks and just add a little bit of water to the top of the cap. I'm sure we'll be seeing some research and development as we go along from this culture. I also have the pieces of the mushroom that I didn't cook yet, and that membrane that holds the spores. So I'm going to look around outside and see if I can find any elms or maples, oaks, any hardwood that's laying dead, that has moss growing on it, and it would make a good home for a saprotrophic fungi. Who knows? There might be a mate out there close by just waiting for its special day. So thank you for joining me on my first foraging of 2025. We ended up finding our very first pheasant back. We got some clones, we got some spores, and we got memories to last us
A lifetime.
And I hope you all have a good day. And I'll see you on the next one.